It's 19 degrees, but I'm running on empty. My breakfast was a ill-advised can of Red Bull, which I only drank half of, and Brazil kernels, which used to have another name which we don't say anymore because we just do not. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at it because it's like anytime I think of something inappropriate and I want to say it, but then it's like I try to be polite when doing these things, and it just doesn't work. This is a bit rubbish. It's just a bunch of... Now that dust to me looks grey, but that's a lot of dust. Let's give it a riddle. So yeah, 19 degrees, which normally would be quite nice, but my fingers are gone numb. I did stack some wood outside. I wore my gloves because I know they say, oh, you can't get splinters from wet wood, but I wear them even so. And it started snowing, so I came back inside and thought, it's... I'm sure people that live in places like North America and Siberia understand snow better than I do. I want to describe it as wet snow, where it's very quickly felt like slush on my back and really just sapped all the strength and heat from me. But again, I'm caffeinated because Red Bull and Brazil nuts is it's not full English, is it? It's not scrambled eggs on toast. Although that's so I find it easier to make omelette than I do scrambled eggs. Come on, focus on the fire, and then we can tell this story afterwards. The story is not as important as the fire. That you're watching these, I assume, because after 90 or so videos, you're still interested in watching me light a fire, and the stories are just ancillary to that. So there we go. There's the fire. It's lit. That's good. Yeah, I feel really tense. I've had to do a bunch of unpleasant things recently, and really put me out of my comfort zone. So they're all necessary, though. Well, the stacking the logs wasn't necessary. It's a nice to have, but not essential. It certainly makes picking the logs up easier, and that's why I do it. And I suppose it looks neater than just having an ugly pile of wood wedged up against the wall. An ugly pile of wood just haphazardly placed outside of the DEFRA approved woodshed, where the seasoned matured logs, which have no more than 18% moisture content, answers in the comments what the official guidelines are, Forestry Alliance guidelines are for properly seasoned moisture content in hardwood. Yes, so what was my point there? Yes, that's right. My wood is definitely stored in the correct conditions to keep it matured, following all government guidelines, because I am a good citizen and I obey all the rules. Actually, I'm not being facetious there. It would be false economy for me to store wood in a way where it would gain moisture. because then rather than burning the wood and getting the heat, the wood's burning, but I'm not getting the heat because it's having to drive moisture out of the wood, and so you don't get as much heat from it. So yeah, it pays to get some wood. Now, fortunately, my fuel merchant, he only sells wood that's ready to burn, and he sells it by volume, because there are some less reputable merchants that will sell it by weight. I said, well, hang on, you could sell wet wood there and say, well, it's heavier, so therefore it's more valuable. And he said, well, that's exactly why we sell it by volume, because there's no advantage to us in terms of handling to sell wet wood. So if we sell by volume, you get your wood, and then the moisture content for it varies, but the price doesn't. Have I explained that well? I probably haven't. Suffice to say, I buy wood, it's sold by volume, and I think the unit of volume, because I'm used to cords of wood, the cord being 8 by 4 by 4 foot, and I'm told that's a standard unit of measurement for wood. But his volumetric measurement of wood is called a stand or a steed. I forget the word he was using as well. It's always fun talking with him because he's just an absolute fountain of knowledge, different knowledge to my own. So I learn when he's there, and I try to help him out as well, because I'm quite happy carrying the bags of wood in, not so much the bags of coal, because they weigh 50 kilograms each, and I just don't have the strength I used to have. I could get that back. I could. I just got ill, lost my strength, and haven't felt like getting back in training yet. I really should, because the pain from doing weightlifting does make you feel good afterwards. I guess my tolerance for pain is at its upper limits at the moment. I don't feel like adding more onto it. Still have an ingrown toenail, still have other pains, we all do, but it's bearable. It's not hurting unless I do certain movements, so it's 99% of the time it doesn't bother me. It's just that 1% of the time it reminds me, and it's a bugger then. I think I need to put another log on that, so one moment please. And back in the room, right. So I'm going to put my, oh well, that rolled off, never mind. I noticed they've stopped selling plastic, I want to call it an earbud, but of course you should never put it inside the ear canal. They've stopped selling plastic earbuds, and now you can only get bamboo ones, which is better in a way, because that's one of those examples of you don't need plastic there, you could just use bamboo and it does a better job. Right, speaking of doing a better job, I am going to put a pizza in the oven. I've got gammon out of the freezer as well, but I'm going to cook that tomorrow. I'll boil it with some spuds, that'll be nice. And pickled onions. I should rummage in the freezer and see if I've got any peas. I do like peas. Yeah, peas and onions. Oh, that's nice. Oh, and if I get some carrots too, oh, that'll be a proper smorgasbord. Yeah. My tummy's rumbling, so it agrees that's a good idea. But what's this fire doing? It's look, it is there. God, I feel angsty at the moment. I decided I was going to wake up earlier today and try and reset my sleep. So I set my alarm and woke up and thought, oh, I'll have Red Bull as a treat. And it was like, well, it's not really a treat, it's poison. And it's doing a number on me. So, yeah. Yeah, that was not wise. Oh well. Sometimes I make mistakes. I think we all do, don't we? Right then. Goodbye.